Yeah, I know. I planned to do Pulp Fiction this week, but hey, I saw It Chapter 2 and I kind of want to talk about it, so we're going to do that. Pulp Fiction will be sometime in the next couple of weeks. As I said, a video every week, so you don't really have to worry. Uh, anyway, so yeah, It Chapter 2. I really liked it. I didn't expect I'd see it, and I saw it, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm not going to compare it to the last one too much at 2017. So I like them both. They both had their pros and cons, so I'm not really going to be comparing and contrasting them too much until like the end. I like this movie. Definitely had a lot of problems, but I had a lot of good parts too. So let's go into it. Starting off with the bad, I definitely feel like it ran a little too long. 2 hours and 45 minutes is longer than like Avengers: Infinity War, which had to culminate like another like 18 movies, and this film is longer than that, which is intense already considering it's just a horror movie about a clown. So yeah, really bloated runtime. But the way they like made the runtime bigger was like with the whole middle section, which is I didn't have too much of a problem with, but I felt it was quite repetitive. Where someone would do something, you get a flashback, something scary would happen, they'd grab something and they go back. And the first time it's fine, and then it happens another 4 or 5 times afterward for like a solid hour or so. And even if you like switch these things around, it wouldn't change anything about the movie. There's no real narrative flow here. Another problem I have with the film, the scene with the adults fighting Pennywise isn't nearly as scary as scenes with kids with Pennywise. Like the last movie, I was just terrified the entire time watching the movie. But in this film, I'd say the only scene where I was like truly 100% and completely terrified was probably the scene in the first trailer where with the girl under the bleachers. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers. It's all kind of minor stuff here. Anyway, just going to keep talking. But yeah, a lot of the instances with adults aren't nearly as scary as instances with kids. So definitely not as scary as the last movie. And then one real final problem I have with this film, besides it not being as scary and having a longer runtime, is I felt like it relied too much on CGI monsters, which just like on making creatures out of CGI, which most of them didn't work for me. They weren't scary for me. It was just like, okay, that's just a CGI monster. If it relied more on practical effects, I think it would have been better. And sure, the last film used a lot of CGI, but it used it in a way that was truly terrifying and scary, and not just like, here's a big monster chasing someone. Like, if we want to see that, we're going to go watch Godzilla, not it. Anyway, but those are just really minor complaints here. I mean, they're big complaints, but they're kind of minor. The good parts of this film. Of course, an amazing part was the cast. I don't think there was a single bad actor in this movie. Everyone did phenomenal, from the kids to the adults. They did great casting of the adult versions of each kid, especially Bill Hader. Bill Hader was phenomenal in this movie. He had a lot of emotional moments. He's hilarious, too. This movie's actually quite funny, way funnier than I thought. It might be one of the funniest movies I've seen this year, up there with like Shazam, Toy Story, and Spider-Man. It really was hilarious. Anyway, of course, the best parts of this movie are just the scenes where either the kids or the adults are just interacting and making each other laugh. Those are always fun. I like the conclusion. The conclusion was pretty good. Of course, I don't really like how the whole way they went with Stan, but I know that was from the original book, so I do have to make peace with that. And the conclusion, it was definitely satisfying. I loved the way a lot of the relationships went. I liked how this film was quite inclusive, and of course I like the music. It's great. Overall, it was a pretty scary movie at times, not as scary as the last one, but for where it lacks in horror at some moments, it makes up with great casting and then just fun, enjoyable times. And of course, there are definitely some scary scenes. I mean, they're not as prevalent as you think they'd be, but it is, in the end, a horror movie, and I don't really like those that much, but I did like this one. So overall, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely not one of the best of the year, but I certainly enjoyed it. Anyway, that's my take on It Chapter 2. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys later.